had homes that were gone the first weekend they were listed.
Wow.
And our home sellers were just like, oh my gosh.
So we were working literally like from 5 to 6 o'clock in the evening to like 8 or 9.
And then every weekend,
on the weekend,
we decided, hey, everything that we make on any stagings or interior design jobs, we're going to reinvest into the company.
Yeah.
So we truly did. We grew it from nothing.
Hello and welcome to another episode of the Realist Conversations podcast, where we have the cream of the crop, the best and the brightest real estate professionals in the Houston and Galveston area. And today we have the one and only MDC Fine Living, Luis and Mitch with us. Welcome, you guys.
hello.
Thank y'all for making the long drive.
Yeah.
We're in North Houston, and you guys are in South,
All the way at the
South,
bottom.
all the way at the bottom. Thank y'all for coming up here. That's so special for us.
Anytime.
Oh, yeah.
We love working with you guys and collaborating. So it's
I love
a
it.
no-brainer.
Yes. Okay, so before we get started, a few icebreaker questions. Okay, so the tricky part is that Luis is gonna talk for or answer for Mitch, and Mitch is gonna answer for Luis.
Oh,
Okay.
Wow.
Let's see who wins. Who's
Okay.
the fastest at responding. Okay, what does each person prefer, coffee or tea?
Coffee.
Oh, both coffee? Okay, that was easy. Okay, eating out or eating in?
Eating out.
You're answering for me? Yeah. Eating in for him.
Eating in, yeah. Okay, who cooks best?
Luis.
Luis?
Me.
Oh, tell me about that.
Well, you can't say best because I just don't cook.
Oh,
So-
okay.
He doesn't cook at
That's
all.
awesome.
I mean,
I make a mean salad.
yeah,
Oh, nice.
he can barely boil water.
Oh,
so it's just-
no.
I mean,
Do you
I
burn
can
the
boil
water?
No.
Luis, so do you make like some special Puerto Rican dishes or?
I do. I love Puerto Rican food. Obviously,
Mm-hmm.
I'm from Puerto Rico. But, I cook everything.
Yeah.
I cook, a little
Yeah,
bit
he
of
cooks-
everything. And
Yeah.
I
He has
like-
Gulf flair, and of course he's from the Caribbean, so he knows how to cook an amazing fish, shrimp,
do.
lobster.
Nice. Ooh,
and I
love
bake.
it. Oh,
so I do
Yeah.
like desserts and like
nice.
pastries.
He's my Puerto Rican Martha Stewart.
Yeah.
That's
I do.
hilarious.
I enjoy cooking, and it's comfort.
Yeah,
comfort, so.
that's amazing. And I bet it's so good. Okay, so that was fun. Let's go into your journey. So how did you guys get started with this amazing company? First of all, what is MDC Fine Living and how did y'all get started?
Absolutely. So MDC Fine Living, our company name is Maison de Campagne. It's after French countryside. It's basically the country house. So our backgrounds are not, from interior design from the beginning. I was in aerospace and Luis was in oil and gas.
Oh my goodness.
We were both in those sectors for about 2 decades.
Wow.
And we decided we'll never fully realize our potential if we are working for another company.
Yeah.
So we took the plunge and we jumped into MDC Fine Living.
Yeah, it was a little bit of a rough start because when we first were approached to stage a home, it was by a friend that was starting to flip properties.
Yeah.
And she knew that Mitch had a nice eye for design, and she was always asking questions about, what colors to choose, what flooring. So we kind of had helped her design her flip. And then when it came time for her to list it, she was like, well, you should stage it. And I was like, what is staging?
Yeah.
So I did a little bit of research and talked with Mitch, and I was like, you would be amazing doing
Yeah.
this. And
Wow.
we went ahead and, got certified. I looked for certifications online, and we went through the training. We got certified. We incorporated. We created our company, and then we started staging.
That's
and-
amazing. How long ago?
That was
In 2018.
summer 2018.
Wow.
Yeah, so it's coming up in
incredible.
6 years now.
Wow, that's amazing.
It was definitely something I'm very passionate about.
Yeah.
And the great thing about home staging is you're truly, I like to call it visual merchandising because that's what we're really doing. We're merchandising a property for sale. And if I can relay that home story to a buyer and people fall in love with the overall feel of the home,
Yeah.
then, that's truly what home staging is. It is a marketing ploy, I mean, it's perfect for any real estate industry where we're helping that buyer visualize themselves in the home.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it was a little bit of a slow start because we were both
Still
still
working
working. We had a full time
Okay.
9 to 5. I was traveling a lot. I
Oh
used
my
to, I was in a sales position, technology position. So I was traveling and, so we were working literally like from 5, 6 o'clock in the evenings to like 8 or 9.
And then
And
every
then on the
weekend.
weekend. So we really had no time off.
Right.
And I would say that went on for the first 2 years.
Wow.
Absolutely.
So we were sacrificing a lot of our personal time, a lot of our friends, family.
And a biggie was that, we were using our normal 9 to 5s to fund our company. So, I mean, everything we did poured back into our company. We didn't start out with a huge loan. We didn't get a business loan. We decided, hey, we're going to, everything that we make on any stagings or interior design jobs, we're going to reinvest into the company.
Yeah.
So we truly did. We grew it from nothing. I think we started with what, $10,000?
Yeah.
And we set aside $10,000 for our company. And from that point, it just started growing.
Yeah, because we didn't really want to get into debt. And then early on, we decided that we wanted to carry our own inventory because that would allow us to pretty much customize or tailor our stagings to the specific homes and the specific needs. A lot of the staging companies that were, when we were starting out, they were like, well, you can rent furniture
Yeah.
and stage, but we didn't really want to go down that route.
Okay.
We wanted to provide an elevated service and to really
It's part of
showcase
our
more
brand.
of a brand, a lifestyle. So
Yeah.
we, the first 2 years was kind of slow, and then
Building it.
kind of building it, and then just working evenings and weekends, we couldn't really do much. Now, COVID really changed our business. When the lockdown started, Mitch had just fully decided to go full time with the company, and I was still holding my job, but then being able to work from home
Yeah. For
for
sure.
several months really opened up the doors to us to be able to take on more work. And that's when we started doing a lot more design projects and a lot more of the vacation rentals. And that allowed us to fully immerse ourselves into our company. And then by the time like 6 months in, like in the summer of 2020, I was making up my mind to quit my job
Yeah.
and be able
Oh
to
my goodness.
because we were starting to grow.
I mean, it's
Like
it
you
took-
you
yeah.
saw the possibility.
Yes, and
absolutely.
and we
I
realized
mean, it was
that,
definitely nerve wracking
Yeah.
because we had great salaries. I mean, we, like I said before, we had been in our professions for, 20 plus years.
Yeah.
So,
almost don't make us older. Than
well, maybe not him, but so I started at NASA when I was 17. So
Oh,
I started at a very young
yeah.
age and as an intern, but I think I was at like 20 years at that point.
And like really good positions where it's not
yeah.
like
Oh, yeah,
an average salary.
right.
It's like
they were nice,
it
was-
six-figure salaries.
very
and-
nerve wracking. Like the idea of letting go of that more stable, like a stable
yeah.
foundation, to a more like, like,
and that's I think that's where a lot of young people these days are. There are so many bright people out there, and it's truly like our parents have always taught me, like, you work hard, you put your head down, you get to work, and being an entrepreneur it's taxing on your mind. You're always like, oh, how are we going to make sure that the bills get paid and that
Yeah.
we continue to progress, and what do we need to do? Our business coaches, they're telling us X, Y, and Z, and
Yeah.
so I mean it's a lot. You have to invest in yourself.
Yes.
It's not just we got to do this to make our company successful. It's like, no, you need to be successful as an individual before
Yeah.
your
It's
company
just
will.
Wow.
taking that
That's
leap.
powerful,
It's
yeah.
a leap of faith, essentially.
Oh,
So,
yeah.
but
It's that risk, and
you have to put in
there's
the
no
work.
payoff unless
But-
you do it.
Yeah. And then once we got to that point where we were like, okay, we need to do this then that's when we really were able to put in 100% of our time. And then
Wow.
we've taken it to the next level
Absolutely.
where we're now being able to provide higher elevated services that is really setting us apart from other
Wow.
staging companies in the area, because this
Yeah.
is what we do. This is
It's not a hobby.
It's not a hobby.
We are a professional company. We're insured.
Yeah.
We're certified.
We take pride in the kind of work that we do. And then every project, regardless of whether it's a luxury property or, medium price home or a regular price home, we put in the same amount of effort to showcase it to its best, so that nobody can say that, oh, MDC came in and it was a cheaper home and they didn't do as good of a job as they did on their $1 million home. We do, we provide the same level of service regardless of the price point. And that's something that we were very conscientious from the beginning about building our brand and showcasing that brand and that lifestyle for all the potential buyers out there so that they can envision themselves there. And then it's all about an emotional connection, right?
Absolutely.
So when a buyer walks in and they see that home, they're like immediately like,
they have that emotional connection to it. I think the biggie too is, even doing interior design, everyone has a different idea of what luxury is. Luxury isn't just about, like high-end brands. Luxury is a feeling. Luxury can be a feeling someone has about a home. It's very luxurious to me. And it can be 1,000 square foot condo or an 800 square foot bungalow in the middle of Galveston.
Wow.
But we want to elevate that property so that any buyer that walks in just imagines themselves like, oh, I could so see myself entertaining in this space. I love it. It's very peaceful to me. I feel like it's, this perfect grounding area for me to, come in and have refuge and, this is my sanctuary.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of like other things that goes, not just about the look. We research the neighborhood. We research who the most likely buyers are going to be. We look at the demographics and the psychographics, which is essentially how the people that are going to be living there are going to use the space.
Yeah.
So we think about all of that. We think about how it's going to photograph. When Raul comes in and he's going to photograph, our staging, we think about that. How is he going to what angles are going to show better? Because that's the difference between staging and maybe living in a place. It's like you want to stage it for the optimal view of it.
Yeah.
So if it means maybe rearranging furniture differently than what you would live in, but still give that essence of, I can totally see the space being used this way. But, it's a lot that goes into it. And we put a lot of research and effort.
I love that you mentioned that because on our part, we go a little bit more into detail on the video side of things. Whenever it's time to do a video, we like to do that research. Like, what are the demographics? But that's mainly, for us, it's the realtor's job to know what they're going to say, what things are they going to highlight in the home. So you guys do that part of the research with the clients,
we
or
do that.
how is that for you
I mean,
guys?
what we like to call our realtor, we're partners.
Yeah.
So we create a true partnership. It's a collaboration. So we work. A lot of the times we get hired directly by the realtors. We get called in directly by homeowners as well. But we always ask, even if it's through the homeowner, we always want to get in touch with their agent because we have to create that partnership and we have to be on the same page. So sometimes there are agents that know, oh yeah, this house, it's going to be advertised for a young family or maybe like an empty nester, things like that. But then we will go in and we will do like, oh, well, we see this. What do you think about staging it as a little bit different to appeal to this sort of buyer?
Yes.
And Mitch is great at doing that because he can walk into a room that's completely empty and visualize it immediately.
Wow.
I don't have that.
That's an amazing skill.
Yeah.
Yes.
So
Well, I mean, I come from that. Growing up, my parents were amazing at, they were art driven. My dad, would build. He built one of our previous homes. My dad, he and his brothers erected the home, and he completely finished the home that I lived in.
Yeah.
So he is very, home savvy and builder inclined. And then my mom was always amazing at interiors. She could visualize things. And so we grew up, even when playing as, at a young age, I remember building houses out of Legos.
Yeah.
I would tear apart everything that I got from a Lego set, and I would build houses.
Yeah.
And I would
Wow.
want these amazing houses, and it would take me hours and hours on doing it. But
Aw.
it was something I loved because I truly, it's something that just gives me so much joy.
Yeah.
And I think visually, again, like I can walk into a space and be like, oh, I can do this here, this goes here. And you just have that, instinctual feeling like, oh, this is the best layout that this room could have.
I love
So
that. Yeah.
automatically I'm thinking like, what is the best visual cue that I can provide for this space?
Yeah.
And that will be a wow factor, for whoever walks into
Yeah.
it.
Yeah, and I think that since we started in 2018 and now 2024, there's been a shift in the market, so we are now seeing a lot more agents give priority to staging. Where before, maybe like, yes, in Houston downtown area,
Yeah.
I mean, it was very prevalent staging, but outside of the city, in the suburbs towards Galveston, that wasn't like a big thing because it was like, oh, anyone can see it. Oh, it's a room.
Yeah.
Everyone know you can put a
Right.
bed. But I think agents, and especially younger agents that have grown with HGTV and have grown up, expecting more.
Yeah.
And as the buyers also are younger now, they expect more. So I think that an agent that doesn't use, staging, it's putting themselves and their clients in a disadvantage.
Yeah.
So by partnering, which is why we call it a partnership with our agents, we're able to provide that extra, something that sets them apart, that gives them that edge over other agents in the area. And it also helps to build the agent brand. Because as an agent,
Absolutely.
you want to have a brand. You want to be known for,
Well, and
listings.
I'll even tell agents, I'm like, when house shoppers are kind of searching for their agents, they want to gravitate to an agent that they feel they would work well with.
Yep.
And when an agent has these amazing listings one after another that just show as like sold property, those home sellers are more apt to going, this agent's all over town. I know their name. They've got these gorgeous properties. They're always, presenting as a for sale property.
The video that
Right.
you guys do,
The editing of videos, photographs are
staging,
always on
everything,
point.
Everything.
I
So,
mean, and it's truly, any real estate agent, they're worth their weight in gold when they have every resource. That is a true concierge service for a
Yeah.
real estate agent to know, okay, I've got, plumbers, I've got, electricians that will come in, I've got a
Yes.
staging company that will make this house shine.
Yeah.
That's what you need to look for in an agent. These real estate agents, everyone acts like, oh, real estate agent just throws a for sale sign in the yard. And there may be some. We know that there are some out there, but those are not the agents that are going to be around forever.
Yeah.
They're I got my certification and now I'm a real estate agent. And it's like, now what do? It's like, well, if it's not your passion, it's probably not going to be something you're going to excel at.
Yeah. Can you give some advice to those? Because I know some real estate agents, they just want to stay at the level that they're at, and that's fine if they're happy with their business model currently. But those that are looking to elevate their brand or maybe go into the luxury market, can you possibly give some advice? Like, what are some of the things that they can do to stand out? Maybe some more tactical, practical things. Like, I'm even thinking, in order to be able to afford photos and videos, they have to have that money beforehand, because they don't get the money until they sell it, right?
Absolutely.
But so they have to have some sort of savings for their marketing budget. Tell me some practical things that you would advise a real estate agent if they are looking to elevate their brand.
Yeah. So, just, hitting again on the all-inclusiveness of a real estate agent or a realtor, just having all of those people in your back pocket. Like I was saying in the beginning of the podcast, we're visual merchandisers. So consider us equal to an amazing photographer like you guys. Hey, I know I've got an amazing photographer, videographer, they're doing drone shots.
Yeah.
We are there to market that property just as much as the photographer is.
Yeah.
We're bringing out the best light of that property.
Yeah.
And what I always like to tell every agent is we want to make your house the best in the neighborhood. Because what happens is a home buyer comes through your home and they mentally remember all of the great things they saw. And even if the furniture, everyone knows the furniture is not coming with the house and the sale, but they were visually able to, sit in the space. They could imagine themselves entertaining, growing a family there. And then they walk into another house in the neighborhood and it's like, wah, wah. Like, well, that last house we were at was so amazing. It looked so good.
Oh,
So,
my goodness.
just those types of things, assisting a real estate agent, hey, not every real estate agent has to pay for home staging. I think there's this common, question that we always get a lot. And it's typically, well, who pays for it? Well, home staging, there's no given on who's paying for it. A real estate agent may see, hey, I've got this $1 million listing. It needs to shine. I want to market the crap out of it. And it needs to look amazing. I want buyers to just flock right in. I mean, now $1 million isn't the craziest. So let's say like 3 or 4 or 5 million. But, they know I'm going to invest in home staging. I'm going to make that house look amazing because it's not going to sit on the market forever.
Yeah.
If I've got it looking amazing and maybe I throw a little cocktail party or a broker's open, I have some people there enjoying the space. They're going to bring their potential buyers in. So yes, some realtors can pay for the home staging as well as the homeowner.
Yeah.
I think that, when you're starting out, I think that was like your question. Like there's a lot of expenses.
I guess.
Yeah.
I love it.
There's
That
a
was
lot
really
of expenses that come with being an agent that sometimes people don't think about.
Yeah.
When you sign up, yes, you have to take your classes. That's money. But then right after, like, depending where you go in a brokerage, like you have to pay your association dues. You have to pay so many. It can get pricey, especially if you don't plan for it. So if you're starting out and you're wanting to build your brand, you're wanting to build your image, yes, staging would help. But, I think that don't necessarily have to do like full on staging with like a vacant home, but you can like invest that money that you're saving for like in good photography, obviously professional photography, and then bringing in a stager, not necessarily to stage, but we can also provide consultation on the existing home as is. It's significantly more convenient money-wise, as affordable, and then you can still get all the knowledge that he has on the home, and then he can meet with you and your client or the homeowner and the whoever wants to be there and go over that. And it's still a little something that you can do to help set yourself apart as an agent, and include that. You can maybe include that with your listing services, or you can even recommend that the homeowner pays for it. But there are ways that you can maximize that, those funds that you have starting out. And then obviously you don't even if I always say pay for professional pictures, but then you can do videos with your phone. You can do stuff that you can do yourself that helps with the marketing.
Absolutely.
You don't necessarily have to go all out with mailers and all that stuff until maybe if it would be a higher price home. And then another thing that I always recommend to our clients, if they feel like, they don't know how to offer the services to their clients, staging can be a great way to justify is kind of like a weird word, but in this day and age, everyone is always like, where's the money going? So like to justify your commission.
Yeah.
So we've had partners and clients that they included with their listing services, and they just raise their commission a little bit, and that's how they justify it. They make more money. They still pay for it up front.
Yeah.
So it is a cost to them on the front, but then they can recuperate all of that and more on the back end, because when they stage, their houses are better prepared. They show better. Most of the time they sell faster, and then they sell for more money.
Yeah.
So at the end of the day, yes, they're investing in it and they're going to recuperate it in the end, but they may be making even more money in the back end by staging.
Yes.
Now we have clients that pay half, and then the homeowner pays the other half.
Okay.
We have clients that they convince their homeowners to pay for it up front, so that it doesn't come as a.
Well, I don't want to
hit.
go with the word convince.
Well,
So the great thing about the big thing about real estate agents though is they can truly see the value in it. It is a value add, so it's an investment. We need to think about these things.
Like
It's not a
educating,
cost. It's not a
educating
cost.
their
It's
co-
visual
their clients.
merchandising. It's not a cost
It's an
negative.
investment.
It's an investment you're making in your home to merchandise it to a buyer.
Yeah.
You know, at the end of the day, we want that house to sell quickly. We don't want it sitting, you know, let's say if it's a vacant home that a seller has moved out of, they're carrying those costs. So every day it sits on the market, they're paying a little bit more and a little bit more and a little bit more. So, you know, if you have a vacant home that just is not garnering very much attention because it's empty, maybe it feels cold, it's dark, doesn't really feel exciting to a buyer, and that thing has sat on the market for 60 or 90 days, that's 3 months of carrying cost that, you know, a home seller, you know, they may have a mortgage on it, and they're clearly they have to pay property taxes every month. They're keeping insurance on the house. I mean, it's those
The
carrying
utilities,
costs can be a lot more. And what we'll even say is, you know, if you have the opportunity to market the home and we stage the property and it sells, you know, within the first 30 days, I mean, in many cases, you know, before the market kind of softened, I mean, we had homes that were gone the first weekend they were listed.
Wow.
And our home sellers are just like, oh my gosh, you know, there was a house down the street that was the exact same floor plan, and we just knew that we were going to end up selling after them because they came in like 10,000 less than us. And
Oh my goodness.
and they would have buyers come in and in
Wow.
the same floor plan fell in love with the house that we had staged because it looked amazing, and it felt like it was, you know, something that they could aspire to live in, and not the house down the street. It was 10,000 less, same house.
That's crazy. That's
But
crazy.
it's just like shifting like your mindset. You know, you don't have to see it. Oh, this is an added cost. You know, like what Mitchell was saying. Like it's just an investment. So it's a lot of agents see it. There are agents that are still a little bit on the fence about it, so they will stage some homes and not others.
Okay.
But you know, then we have agents that stage every single home that they do, and those are the agents that know and
The value
of it.
that
They
staging.
see it regardless whether it's $1 million homes or a $300,000 home. You know, they at least will bring in Mitch, and he will do a consult. We call it the pre-listing consultation. He will walk through every single room, even on the exterior, provide great information that they can immediately, you know, apply. Some great action items. And then
I love
it. It gives that agent an edge because their client, their seller feels like, oh, I'm getting a lot.
And let me also
Yes.
say
A lot of
that
value.
the pre-listing consultations are great for any agent because it removes the heat off the agent.
That's what I was going to say. Yes.
So I can't tell you how many agents are too nervous to tell their client, like, you know, because there are so many agents in the state of Texas. I mean, in any city, you can just, you know, you can throw a penny and hit one or whatever people say. So what happens though is you don't want to ruffle feathers too much with your seller if you have now been, you know, if they've decided they're going to sit with you and sign a contract with you as their agent. So what we do is we come in as the professionals on the home front, and we give them our honest feedback. What I do is I walk these homes and I look at it with the buyer's eye in mind. So I'm looking for flaws and I'm pointing out like, oh, well, this color's kind of dated. That would be much better if it's a neutral tone. It's going to tone the room down, or it may brighten the space. I'll talk about lighting, you know, some very, you know, cost-effective way of, you know, brightening the space up, whether it's changing out a light fixture or two.
Or the bulbs.
Right. Or the
That's-
bulbs. Let's say, you know, we're walking into a house, and I'm sure every real estate agent does this. I have OCD with things. So if I walk into a room and I see a 12 light chandelier and 6 of them have, you know, working bulbs, and 4 of the 6 are in one color and, you know, 2 of them are in a different tone,
Oh my
eye just
goodness.
starts twitching. And I'm like, oh. And it's like, it draws my eye
That's
to it. And I don't want a
hilarious,
buyer drawing their eye to something like that. I want
Yeah.
them to just fully immerse themselves in the
Yeah.
possibility of owning that home, because the longer we have them in that home, the more the chances of them signing an offer are on the table.
Yeah.
What is
for
it
sure.
like?
I mean,
After
there-
5 minutes, if a buyer stays in a home longer
No,
than
there are studies that show that buyers linger on a stage home versus
an
a
unstable.
that
vacant
is
home. So they
so
they
interesting.
can be. I think
Yeah.
there's like an average of 45 minutes versus like 5 or
Wow.
10 minutes on
Yeah,
like a
because what
vacant
is
home.
somebody gonna do walking through an empty
Right,
home?
yeah.
They're just gonna walk into an empty living room and be like, okay, I've seen it.
So
And
they
walk
can
to the next room.
They
Yeah.
can keep
Now, if
walking,
it's
and then
fully
it
furnished,
sparks,
They can sit down.
They can
They
spark
can.
a conversation. It's like, oh, I could definitely see like our furniture here, or oh, I like how this is laid up. Maybe we can do something similar.
Yeah.
We get that all the time. Where
Well-
after the house sells, we get a call from the new buyer, and they're like, "Oh my god, I really loved how you staged at home. Is there any way that you can help us like with our furniture
Oh
and
my
our
goodness,
layout?"
I love
So-
it. And y'all offer
Or-
that service to
absolutely.
them?
We do.
Oh yeah.
That is so
Yeah.
cool.
Or on the flip side, we'll have buyers that say, "I want everything that's in this
Yeah.
house.
Oh my goodness.
I love everything here.
that's-
And they
that's
want
I wanna
it
buy
as
it all."
is.
And that's also a
That's
great
great.
way for the agents to
Mm-hmm.
like keep that relationship going.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Whether you're the selling agent or the buying agent, you know, it gives you that additional like, oh yeah,
Mm-hmm.
I'll be in contact with the buyers, and then I can, or they can be like, I'll put you in contact with my stagers.
Yeah.
And then that's just like a way for them to also come out looking great,
Of
yeah.
course.
because it
Because
just
that buyer may eventually turn into a seller, and they're like,
Mm-hmm.
"Oh, do you remember that agent
Yeah.
that they had this home looking amazing? We bought it all."
Yes.
You know,
They
it's
can't
it's a
forget.
full package, right?
Yes.
And
yeah.
so it's truly that full concierge service that, oh, that agent must be on it. You know, the photos were amazing. Of course, we bought the house because we loved it.
Yeah.
You know, they had amazing photography and videography, and the
then the
inside looked
presentation,
amazing. We fell in love with it. You
Yeah.
know, I want an agent to do that for us now.
Yeah, for sure. And have you guys ever gotten, maybe not y'all, but probably the real estate agent, and that's why they ask for the consultation, like pushback from the seller or from the homeowner?
Well, so what happens on pre-listing consultations, I'm very clear with the home seller. This is what the market is driving to, and I'm going to give you my honest feedback
Yeah.
on your property. I don't sugarcoat anything. So if we've got,
he
you
gets
know,
to play the bad cop to the agent
and-
being
and-
the good cop.
yeah, so the agent can be like, well, you know,
Yeah.
I don't necessarily, and they're not the bad guys,
Yeah.
because they're on the side of the seller. But I am here as, you know, I'm coming in with fresh eyes on your property. You know, I see that you haven't mulched those flower beds in the
Yeah.
front of the house.
Are you talking about my?
No, I'm just, you know, these
I'm
are
just kidding,
these
yeah.
are key things.
just-
Or let's say we have a lot of like mold on the driveway. You know, that's something. you
Even
know,
for the exteriors.
Absolutely.
Exterior. So we do
Wow,
that exteriors.
yeah.
But when you're dealing with a homeowner or a home seller, it's especially if they've lived in that property for a long time, they tend to be like reluctant to receive the
Yes.
criticism, and
Yeah.
not criticism.
well, and
but
because
like,
in their mind, they
yeah.
don't see that as a flaw.
No, it's
or
their
it's
taste.
their taste,
They
it's
they
their
think
home.
it looks
Yeah.
Right.
nice.
and they've loved living
they
there.
built it up how they
So,
like it.
But
Right.
whatever the situation is, whether, you know, the reason why they're moving, we always say, like, you just need to, in your mind, say, like, this is not my home anymore. You know, this is going to be someone else's
Yeah.
home. And as such, you know, I need to present it as that. So we're not like, you know, a lot of times agents or other stagers were, well, oh, you need to depersonalize and take every single like color out and like take all your family pictures out. We're not that way, but we do try to, you know, bring a little bit more of a balance to where someone that doesn't know the owners is walking the home, they can still see themselves there and not just the current family.
Yeah.
Because that's the idea, right? Because some people are like, oh, it doesn't matter if I show my kids, or because then they can see, oh, my kids can live here. But at the same time, it's like you're walking by and then you're walking through a refrigerator and you're seeing a bunch of pictures of your family. Then you're going to stop to look at that and be like, oh my God, they go to the same school. Or
Yeah.
like, you're not looking at the house, you're looking at their personal items. So you have to find
Yeah.
a balance. And Mitch is great at pointing that kind of stuff out. So he doesn't go like, he's not super aggressive where he's like, oh yeah, everything needs to come down and all this furniture needs to be moved out. But yeah, you find ways to balance the space. Maybe it is reducing some of the pieces in the room.
Yeah.
Maybe take some pictures down.
Well, and that's the thing too, is, I want to give honest feedback and constructive feedback. I want that homeowner to have a list of actionable items that they can walk away with at the end of the day. And I will even let them know, it's like, if this is something beyond your capability, let me know.
Yeah.
I will find a workaround. It's almost like exercise workouts where it's like, well, if you can't, let's say you have back problems or something, if you can't handle this, here's an alternate. So, I'm not walking in just saying like, oh, everything's bad, it's got to go. No, that's not, we can't function that way.
Yeah.
And it's not even a doable task. But what we want to do is make sure that they're maximizing every, dollar that goes into that house on a return.
Yeah.
For most individuals, that's the highest investment you'll ever have is your main homestead.
Yeah.
So at the end of the day, we want as much as we can for it, especially in these days when home prices are just on the uptick. They're always increasing.
Yeah. For from the perspective of a real estate agent, they're so excited. They have the listing,
Right.
but now you got to take care of it and do your job really well,
Absolutely.
or else it'll stay there forever and eventually fall off.
And
And that's what we don't want,
It's
right?
just like with everything, like with any business, you want that word of mouth where it's like, oh my God, such and such did such an amazing job preparing this house. Like, we love that. I'm sure you guys love it when there's like
Yes.
the word of mouth, like those referrals are
Yes.
key. So when you as an agent know that you did an amazing job presenting, like with your listing presentation, like you walk out of there feeling like a little, feeling
yes.
taller, feeling amazing. And that shows. And then other people will be like, oh my God, I want to work with them.
Yeah.
I want to work with him.
Absolutely.
I want to work with her because they know what they're doing. And you can start, whether you're starting or whether you're like a seasoned agent, there's always room for improvement.
Yeah.
And that's one thing that we as a company, we don't take for granted. Like, we always are looking for ways to improve, to elevate.
Yeah.
So why as an agent are you not doing the same? Why are you not trying to up your services and like
I mean,
do
and
better?
it's so true. Like, it's like age old, like, if you're not learning something, you're not growing. I mean, you can never know everything.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe there are people out there that we all think like, oh, they're a total know-it-all. But, we're always big on, accelerating. We want to up the ante of home staging.
Yeah.
We want it to be bespoke and look amazing. We're not taking, one house of furniture out and then putting it right into another house. We want these amazing looks so that it almost looks like it was created just for that home.
Wow. Yeah.
And then with everything, like, trends change,
Absolutely.
so maybe what was good 10, 15 years ago when they moved into a house is not necessarily what's trending now.
Yeah.
And trendy is a word that can
I
have a
hate.
negative connotation because
I hate it when everyone's like, what's the latest fad? What's
Yeah.
the latest
Because
trend? And I'm
it's-
like, well, I want timeless.
Yeah.
I want something that's going to be around forever and
Yeah.
people really appreciate.
Yeah, but we still have to keep in mind the trends because we still have to bring those in because it needs to appeal to the buyers now.
Yeah.
Right.
But at the same time, we want to make it to where it feels timeless. It doesn't feel like stuck or like, oh, this is too specific.
Yeah.
But we have seen,
Well-
that the younger generation, they love more character. They love a lot more colors. They
Yeah.
love
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
textures. So we have to keep our inventory progressing. We have to keep up with these trends. We have to keep up with the design because what we're doing needs to, appeal to young buyers and older buyers as
Yeah.
well, depending on the neighborhood. So we try to be very flexible, very versatile with our style, but still keep it
On brand.
on brand,
Yeah.
like the MDC look.
Yes,
like
I
if
know,
if
I
you walk
love
into a
it.
home that's staged by us, you'll be like, oh, I think Mitch
We
and Luis
feel
did.
so
Yeah.
privileged to be able to capture that because, of course, they're the best homes that we get to shoot because it has that professional staging. It
Right.
makes all of the difference. So, really quickly to close out, can you give some advice to agents? For example, we were at we've done some shoots before, and they're like in the not maybe around $1 million, but going up like 700 to $1 million, even a little bit more. And they don't hire staging. And I'm like, why? And so I'm like, even the most basic things, there are some basic things that should be done. I don't know. Tell me if I'm right or wrong, but white sheets on a bed, at least the minimum.
Right.
Mitch is like, nah.
No, I mean, we white sheets. I mean, depending on, bedrooms.
Like if they're not hiring stagers or anything, and maybe they're just doing it all themselves, what would be some advice that y'all give?
So my biggest, if we have clients that say, well, it's just not in the budget, I understand that. We're not going to be for every price point.
Yeah.
We're not the cheapest home stagers in town.
Yeah.
What we provide is an exceptional service.
Yeah.
So what I will tell potential clients or real estate agents, if they haven't already, look at that neighborhood. Look at your current listings. That is your prime competition. If your house doesn't look better, it's a disservice. So if your home doesn't look as good as others in the neighborhood that are for sale, I can almost guarantee you no one's going to buy your house over someone else's.
Unless you price it
Unless
cheaper.
it's priced way cheaper and it's just like a flash fire sale. Like we got to get rid of this house. We're pricing it low. That's when hey, we're not going to budget for marketing.
Yeah.
We're pricing it below current market price because we know it's going to fly off the market. We know there are some updates that need to be done and we've priced it significantly under the competition. That's when I get you.
Yeah.
It's a flash sale. You're trying to get rid of it quickly. But if you're wanting prime market price for that property, again, you need to go through and look at your competition in the neighborhood. And if your house isn't going to shine brighter, then you're doing a disservice.
Yeah. But you as an agent, if you don't think that there's the budget for professional staging, and you have the eye, you have the experience, like we typically would recommend, I think everyone would recommend to declutter and clean.
Yeah.
Do a deep clean for sure.
We preach that.
So declutter, do a deep clean. If you have carpets all over the floor, make sure that those are clean, steamed, like professionally clean. And then for beds, like bedrooms, bathrooms are so important. Kitchens are very important. So we, a bedroom, like at least invest in some good, like new sheets or bedding. It doesn't have to be super expensive.
It doesn't have to be white.
It can't. We love the white because the white is kind of like that spa light.
So here's the thing about
luxury, like resort feel.
Absolutely, white sheets are the
and white towels.
It's all about clean.
I think about like a hotel.
feel.
Like if I go to a hotel, what do I want to see?
You want that like relaxing, welcoming feeling. So you can do like white sheets, like bedding, and then
you can do like a natural fiber. Like here's the greatest thing. I'm a huge person on Target. Target markets like nobody's business.
Yeah.
You can walk into Target with a plan to spend $10 and walk out paying $1,000. So when you walk into Target, I love Casa Luna by Target. It's one of their lines.
That's a good brand.
It's a very like natural style. They do come in colors. You could pull together a bedding collection out of Casa Luna as a real estate agent and just kind of hold them on for yourself.
Yeah.
If you have a vacant property, or let's say the sellers are not there any longer, but they've left some furniture around, stage that bed. Buy everything in king, even if it's a queen bed, because you want it to drape nice. You want that nice lofty feel, like someone could just sink into bed.
Yeah.
We're known for our beds.
Yes.
But buy
yes.
those nice natural cream tone, duvet or comforter. Buy you some throw pillows that are a nice natural, natural colors.
That'll go with
and
pretty
like more
much
earthy tones.
every.
That work well. And then, gather all that back up after it's, you're under contract, and then carry it on to the next house. As a real estate agent, you can kind of have that in your back pocket. I've known countless real estate agents now.
It just gets hard when you
want to do that major front, because we know some real estate agents that are like, oh, I have a U-Haul or like a storage unit full of furniture and I'll bring it into the house. And it's like, that's not the greatest thing. I mean, absolutely. If that's all that, that you can provide your client, it's a step above doing nothing.
Yes.
So you're providing that to your clients.
Yeah.
But again, we're here to elevate that experience.
For
You be
sure.
the agent and we'll be the home stagers. We'll do the visual merchandising on the house. And then all
And
you're
save
doing
up that
is,
time for them, because that's
oh yeah, because it's valuable
days,
time for a real estate
hours.
agent.
So much work. People don't realize how much work
Yes.
staging a house is.
Oh no,
And
we
like,
do
it's like-
realize.
I mean, aside from personal belongings like your clothing and whatnot, we're essentially filling a house up within one day.
Yeah,
And then a
that is
photographer comes the following day to
insane.
photograph
And
it.
then
Insanity,
we're
yeah.
packing everything up and taking it away in a few
Wow.
weeks.
Yeah.
But it's a lot. And we also, when an agent says like, oh, I carry my own inventory, it's like, okay, but can you cater different styles of homes? I mean, you're just moving the same things
Right.
into different, so it can be mid-century, it can be very traditional, it can be
Yeah.
more modern, and it's still the same. We have,
Well, and then
we have 3,500 square feet of warehouse where we carry our inventory, and
Yeah.
we're always switching it up and bringing in new because, our agents are also like, oh, will you sell this to us? And they've purchased some of our own inventory.
Yeah.
And
It's the service that you provide is invaluable. Like
Yeah.
it can't compare to a real estate agent taking their stuff that they have accumulated over the years to the same houses. It'll show
Right.
on their
Yeah.
listing photos, so you'll be able to see the same.
yeah, it's like a
stuff.
recurring,
the same
like, oh, that
thing.
looks almost like
And
the
it-
listing they had.
and it'll free up so much time for that agent
It'll
to
free up
focus
so
on
much time,
lead
yeah.
generation, to focus on marketing,
Yeah.
to focus on other things. That why are you wasting your time staging when there's a company that this is all they do
Yeah.
every day, in and out?
It's-
Yeah. What are
it's-
so we have a community of home staging, and what do they call it? A stagent?
A staging.
Oh,
A
nice.
stagent.
Staging, yeah.
Yeah, it's like, oh, I stage my own properties. And it's like, oh my, I mean, you're spending all your time when we're
Yeah.
here for you.
Yeah.
I'm a realtor, but I'm not a stagent because I hire him to
Yeah,
stage.
so he hires
Nice.
me to
Yeah,
stage
to
his
stage
property.
my property.
Yeah,
So I'm
nice.
not necessarily a stagent because I see the benefits.
Yeah.
Like as an agent for you to have your own inventory, but then if you're not gonna be doing it full time it just becomes an extra expense and a hassle because then
Yeah.
you have to pay storage units, you
for
have
sure.
to pay for movers or U-Hauls or like you have to maybe get your spouse or your kids
Yeah.
in to do all this and
Or
it's-
you're hiring a moving
Yeah, and then
company, and then
Yeah.
you're also taking on that liability.
Yeah.
Whereas
sure.
we are insured. We clearly tell homeowners that are listing their homes for sale, and the agents that we work with, we've got an errors and omissions policy,
Wow.
up to date, and
Yeah.
we have our
No.
fully insured policies that make sure that when we walk into your house, nothing's going to happen to it. When we bring everything out of your house, it's going to be flawless.
Wow.
Everything is fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I think that's a common misconception because there are so many people out there and agents themselves that stage or that feel like, oh, I have an eye for design and I
Yeah.
can do this. So they're like, oh, my wife stages or my sisters, but this is a business. There's so much more that goes into it
Yeah.
than just putting furniture in a home and maybe making it look
Yeah.
somewhat good.
Yeah,
Because
everything you mentioned from
Yeah.
the start to the beginning, from the research before even
Yeah.
stepping into the home, it's the research, the neighborhood. It's like we don't have to convince people anymore. In the beginning, we used to cold call people that we would see on the MLS that didn't have professional photos. And immediately we were like, we give up. Like they don't value professional photography. So we don't even want them as a client because they don't
that's-
value our
and that's-
services.
That's one thing that's hard to understand for any business owner or for any entrepreneur. Like, not everyone is going to be your ideal client.
Yeah.
So you have to find that partnership, and with people that have similar mindsets or like
Oh yeah.
similar values.
Yeah.
So, because you want to work with people that you like.
Yeah.
So it's not just necessarily like, yeah, we do amazing work, but unfortunately we're not for everyone.
Yeah.
Not,
And that's okay.
and that's
right?
yeah, and that's okay. And that's something that you learn as you go.
Yeah, I mean, in the beginning, I was just like, why would they not want? I mean, why do they not think this is amazing? And
Yeah.
at some point, I was just like,
And we love it.
not every potential that we get a call about is gonna turn into a
We-
client.
we
and
love-
now I'm okay with it.
We love
Yeah.
seeing stage homes, even if they're not staged by us, because
I
we-
may critique it a little.
it's just like we always, but it's just because it's bringing awareness to the
Yeah.
staging industry. It
Yes.
is an industry.
Yeah.
You know, we are part of national associations.
I
We're
know. I see
nationally
you
we're
guys going
nationally
to
recognized.
events and
Absolutely.
So
Wow,
we
that's
are now
amazing.
nationally recognized. We've won awards for our
That's
staging
incredible.
on a
That's
national
amazing.
on an international level.
Yeah.
So it is something. So we love seeing homes that are staged,
Mm-hmm.
regardless of who did it, because we know then, oh, these agents are seeing the value of staging.
Yes.
I just hope that everyone does it. Everyone that
Yeah.
calls themselves a luxury agent,
Mm-hmm.
and then I see their stagings and I mean their listings and they're not staged. I'm like, should you even call yourself a luxury
Yeah.
agent? And I know this is gonna ruffle
Right.
some feathers,
But
like,
a
should-
We
full
like
lug-
ruffling feathers.
Well, that's the thing too, is you are providing a full luxury experience for that buyer.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And if it's an empty, cold, dark house that's
Yeah.
listed at 2.5 million, and that buyer's like,
and then
no one's wowing
you
me with
spend-
this.
And then I
Yeah.
see all this like amazing videos. I mean, you guys should see this every day. Like you will go in and see a beautiful location, a great house, but then it's empty, and it's like
Yeah.
you're spending this money on marketing, which is great, but then part of that marketing is the staging.
Yeah.
And it is the visual merchandising part of it. It's simply like, I would say the most important one,
Yeah.
because once you're in there, you can do a beautiful walkthrough video like you guys do. You can do your
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
aerials, you can do your interior detail pictures. And it's just a complete package. It just brings everything together.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So whenever I'm like, oh, you know, this is the all-inclusive luxury agent, and then their listings are not staged, I'm like, you know, it's like
It
just
makes a
it's like a
huge
missed
difference.
opportunity.
Yeah, a missed opportunity. It even on the photography side of things,
Yeah.
like it. We sometimes like cringe a little bit whenever we have to go and see the result of the photos, because it's just it looks very different. A home that is empty, a home that is not staged, it's occupied and it's not staged, and a home that is staged. We recently shot for like $1 million home. We're not in the luxury market too much. Some of our clients have higher priced homes, and so we're excited to shoot those. And it was occupied, and the furniture was so bad, like to this gorgeous home, and we're like, why? No, that's
and there
terrible.
are ways to like use the existing furniture
Yeah.
and make it just like dress it up a little
Yeah.
bit. And that's where those pre-listing consultations come in extremely handy.
Yeah.
Because then you get that
Yeah.
insight, and then like, oh yeah, maybe we can add some like accent pillows, or maybe
Yeah.
like a throw,
Yes.
or do something like
Yeah.
change the rug. You know, if you have pets or some, you know, sometimes
yeah.
it doesn't smell the
Well,
best.
and the thing about it too is, you know, again, when we talked about, oh, well, the home seller may have lived in the home forever. What happens is we become very comfortable in our own settings, and, you know, it's our own little oasis. So
Yes.
So
what
we
I'll
don't
do
see
is,
the flaws.
you know, I may, you know, when I walk in again, I may tell a seller like, why is this chaise in this corner over here?
Yes.
That needs to go in your primary bedroom, right in front of those
Oh
bay
my gosh, I wish
windows,"
we
and-
could do a live critique. That would be so cool.
Yeah, and so it's
Oh
really
man, I wish I would have planned it so people could send in their photos. Oh man,
and
next
so
time.
what
Next time.
happens though is a home seller will be like, huh, I never imagined that this would be better in this room or this other room. And so what it really helps them understand is, hey, you know, we're marketing the house. There are going to be some changes, you know, bear with us. We're doing this all for the best possible outcome, which is the house goes on the market and you get multiple offers and you get your choice of who buys the home and for top dollar.
And we've had agents hire us to come prep the home for pictures. I think we've done a few for Raul with some of the guys
Photo
that you
prep.
work, which is a photo prep. And that's great because, you know, the pictures are going to be amazing. But then it's like we go away, we take our things back, and then
Oh, it's just for
it's
photo
just for
day.
photos.
Okay.
And it's like when a buyer goes in, it's like, oh, this is not exactly what I was
Oh,
expecting.
wow,
So
that's
we always try to
interesting.
like
Okay, yeah.
recommend, you know, for when agents ask us to do photo preps, we always recommend for Mitch to go in before the photo prep. And then if there's anything that he would recommend to purchase that's not super pricey, like easy stuff like getting some white towels, a new bedding, like a something that then he can come in, prep it for the pictures, and then
Yeah.
everything stays there.
Yeah.
And then that way the The only thing that they have to do, I guess, is just keep it
Hold
clean.
on.
Okay, so to finish things off, what is one piece of advice that you would give a real estate agent that is wanting to get into the luxury market?
So I would say, like, don't freak out about the cost. Luxury market, it's a different beast, but just be yourself. A lot of times agents feel like because they're aiming for a luxury market, they have to
Portray a different
portray
lifestyle.
themselves differently,
Oh.
portray a different lifestyle, and then spend all of this money on
Right.
dressing up differently, like
Authenticity
driving
is key
up,
here.
a car that's crazy. So just show that you're a luxury by the way that
Your professionalism.
you're professional, the offerings that you do. It's not all about yourself.
Yeah.
It's not. You carry yourself like a professional and just be yourself, and just be confident. I
Yeah.
think confidence is a big thing in real estate and in any business. But yeah, I feel like
Well, and
do
so
what matters.
I will say, like, unless you, this is gonna sound horrible, but I've grown up around very wealthy individuals, and again, like, authenticity is key here, because if you try to promote an air of grandeur about yourself and you're not really, that's one of the biggest, just
Turnoffs.
turnoffs
turnoff.
to a home seller. And it's almost like, someone can smell a rat kind of thing, but I mean,
Yeah.
not in this situation, but again, if you're authentically yourself and you're providing a professional service and you're on top of things, that is what that individual wants.
Yeah.
It is not a competition on, oh, well, I know these high-end brands and, oh, we vacation here. That wealthy individual that may be selling that property, they don't care.
Yeah.
They're looking for a professional to do a service, not for someone that's going to show them a better time than they've ever experienced.
Yeah.
They want a professional willing to work that service.
And that's like where you show, like, with your offerings. It's
I
not
love that.
Like, you be yourself, be your authentic self, and then show that you're a luxury provider by what kind of services you're offering. Not
Make sure you're connected with these key partners
Absolutely.
Yes.
that are going to help
make
you
sure
get
they are
your
professionals.
elevated.
and make sure that
we don't want a hobbyist. We
Yeah.
don't want our Rolodex. Well, our Rolodex, that's horrible to say now. It ages me. We don't want our phones filled with hobbyists. And again, this is where I was saying, we're a professional company. We're not hobbyists. We're not getting our inventory off Facebook Marketplace. Those types of things. If you're, looking to get into that luxury sector, these are the types of people that you want to surround yourself with. Professionals, professional photographers. We want any kind of digital marketers. We don't want to do that on our own on a,
Oh, my
let's say it's a
goodness,
$2 or $3
no.
million listing.
Yeah.
We don't want to be pulling things together for a listing.
Yeah.
We want to make sure that we've got,
The right
although
people.
that digital team pulled
For
together
sure.
correctly.
focus on the things that matter. Like,
Yeah.
Absolutely.
be yourself, and then if you are going to invest in things, invest in the things that matter.
Yeah.
Like your people that you work with, your partnerships, your photographer, your stager. Even like if you need cleaners to come in, like,
Professional
to
cleaners.
me, like, when I think about a luxury agent, it's someone that really handles everything.
Yeah, it's a true concierge service.
And you as the seller are just there to, like, okay, where are my offers, and then sign
Yes.
at the end of the day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, it does come at a higher cost, but you have to know what you're getting yourself
Yeah.
into if you're gonna be breaking into that market. And I think that's
And I mean, and truly, like, it costs money to make money. You can, there are people who are like, oh yeah, I can do it without spending any money at all, and that's not the norm.
I mean, when you're starting out,
you
but
have
if you're
to
in-
invest in
yeah.
order for that investment to,
if
for
you're
you
up to that
recoup
point
money.
where you're getting luxury listings, then you shouldn't be cutting corners.
Yeah, for sure.
You shouldn't be
Absolutely.
like, oh, I'm gonna save money in this, or like devaluing your services as an agent. You have to value yourself and then value your clients and provide that kind of service that is expected.
Yeah.
So
I love that. I love that because everybody, not everybody, but a lot of people want to join the luxury market or market themselves as luxury agents, but it takes hard work and it
It
takes
does.
money.
And
so.
it's not like we were saying, it's not just about your appearance because I feel like a lot of it out there, especially in the world of social media, is like very visual. Yes. So you want to show that luxury kind of clientele, but you don't have to portray yourself as something that you're not.
Yeah.
You can still be, yourself and be mouthy or be like a little. You don't have to dress up in a suit or like be wearing.
Why did you look at me when you said mouthy?
and be like wearing 6-inch heels everywhere you go?
Mitch, I didn't
It's
know
like-
about that about you.
I need the extra height.
yeah. So just be yourself and then know that you have to sell your value and provide value.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. I love it. So tell me, what does 2024 look like for you guys?
2024 it's about growth with our company. That is one thing that we always have on our mood boards looking forward is our vision board. Sorry.
It's just
growth.
the design.
We want growth in our company. So, we're always looking for how do we amplify our offerings are to our clients.
Yeah.
So
And that's
they're
what we mean by
always ever
growth.
changing. Yeah.
Not
so
necessarily. We always want to stage more, but growth professionally.
and the
like,
products we provide our clients, we want a robust
Yeah.
service that is truly value added to any
Yeah.
person that we work with.
So for 2024, we're expanding a little bit. We're working on some great realtor presentations that we can bring to title
that's
companies. Or like I know you
amazing.
guys do a lot
CE
of
courses.
that CE
Oh,
course.
so good. Oh my gosh. We have
So-
to get connected
Yes.
to
So
reach out over there
we're
in
kind
Galveston.
of like in the process of getting that
Good.
certification.
I love it.
So we're gonna start doing more realtor like one-on-one and like group
Yes.
presentations, and then we're also planning on. We have our little office space in Galveston,
oh, nice.
so we're gonna start doing like little open houses in our design studio and
I
warehouse.
love
So
that.
that-
Kind of like a cocktail happy hour.
Oh,
And
I
then
love that.
everything's better with a little bubbly.
Oh,
And then
my
we can
goodness.
have our agent, our partners come in and bring their clients if they want to.
Kind of see the
And
process
see
of how
like
Yeah.
our studio space, see our warehouse, see our inventory, how we work, so that because like we were saying, like people don't necessarily understand what goes into running a staging business, and a lot of the behind the scenes nobody sees.
Yeah.
Well, and
So-
and the unfortunate part is we may have clients or agents that say, "Oh, well, why does it cost this much?" And it's like, well, we have staff and we have buildings that we have to we have to maintain all the furniture, we have
Yeah.
to store the furniture, we have to insure everything. We are truly a professional company. We're not hobbyists at this.
But we want to continue to add value to our
Yeah.
partnerships, and I think that adding this extra layer
Yeah.
of like education
I love that.
will
Yeah.
be a great way to continue
Educate and-
to add
For
more
sure.
value.
Yeah.
And it's gonna be great for us. And we've started doing a lot more speaking engagements.
Ooh.
So we
Who's
do-
the main speaker? Both of y'all? Or
I usually speak.
nice.
But Mitch is like recently
Yeah.
we're doing a lot
Opening
more
up a little bit
together.
more.
We're doing a lot more
Well,
together.
I like to talk.
a
I mean, a
lot.
lot. I do.
Really?
I'm truly passionate about what we do. So
Yeah.
I just feel like it's, a conversation I'm having
Yeah,
with friends. And so
it's
I
fun.
open up and
Yeah.
I want to, chat about everything. And, I'm more of the A-type personality. So I'm the one that's more aggressive with stuff. And
Yeah.
this one here is like, okay, chill
I
out.
need to ring him
But
in.
we're both chatty.
Yeah.
Like we'll
Yeah.
talk and talk and talk. And
But we
kinda have to
we
shut us
like
up.
that because being part of the industry and then being recognized by your peers is also like a really great way.
oh, yeah.
I mean, it's kind of like an ego boost a little bit,
Yeah,
So
for
we,
Well,
but
it's a lot of like self-value.
Yeah.
It truly helps.
And at the same time,
when our peers are like, "Oh, we love what you do. You guys are
Yes.
amazing." It's
Yeah.
like, "Oh, well, we can clearly see our self-worth in what we're doing and that we're excelling in these things."
and at the same time, we want to share some of the knowledge that we've
Yeah.
gained through a lot of hard work and ups and downs,
Yeah.
because it's for our company, it's been the two of us, and we've kind of essentially built this together. I mean, similar to you guys, it's been a lot of sacrifices, a lot of, mistakes, a lot of bad decisions that we made. So whenever we go on these industry events and we're speaking to other companies or business owners that are starting, we feel great by doing that we're able to help, because I wish that when we were starting, we would have taken advantage of that. Yeah. That's why we're now very committed to continuing education and to participating in these events that are thrown by, because we really find value in going, and then we want to provide that value for the up and comers, because I think the industry, this is a great industry, and we have so much to offer to agents and to homeowners and investors, home builders.
Well,
so,
and I think, the collaboration with all of the home staging professionals is really great. Yeah. And, at some point, you get into the business and you've been doing it for so long, it's almost necessary to give back to the community. So that's where a lot of, our speaking engagements now, we're giving back to those home stagers that we were when we were in 2018, like, what?
And I mean, we've only been doing this a little bit over 5 years. So there are staging companies that have been doing it for 15, 20 years when it wasn't even a thing.
Wow.
So getting to learn from them as well has been amazing for us.
That's amazing. I love it.
It's a wealth of knowledge.
So 2024, hopefully it's our best year yet, and every year is going to be even better.
It will be. I love it. Well, it has been an absolute pleasure to have you guys here on the podcast. If any real estate agents out there are looking to get into the luxury market, are specifically in the Galveston area, I know you guys go out to Houston a little bit, yeah? Yeah, for sure?
Yes.
Yeah, okay, awesome. Please get in contact with MDC Fine Living. Definitely, if you want to elevate your brand this year, if that's a goal for you to grow this year, then definitely reach out, start collaborating, start partnering up, start educating yourself with these guys. They're amazing. MDC Fine Living, thank you guys for being here.
Thank you.